Everybody. Okay. Hopefully the headphones are working properly. I've literally never streamed live before, but I'm here. I mean, I've streamed live before, but I've never streamed live outside. So I was going to do this from in my new bedroom, but then I was like, it was really nice day out today after days of rain and cloud. So I was like, you know what? I feel like going swimming. So we have, let me just show you really quick. So this is the cottage. This is Garrett's family's cottage. I think maybe I'll show you my room at some point, but for now, they have that. This is the back, and it looks out over on the lake. It's actually like heaven, heaven on earth. That's what I was calling in for and that is what I am receiving. So yeah, I wanted to go swimming, and because I could just make that part of my daily routine now, at least for the summer warm months. So I went swimming, and then I was like, you know what? Why don't I just do the live stream from outside? And yeah, so here I am. If this is your very first live stream on this Patreon that you're watching, welcome. This is like a life update kind of a live stream. So if you really want to be caught up on everything that is happening in my life, you can watch all of the previous ones that I've done. But most recently, this is my first live stream. Okay, hold on. I moved basically. Sorry, some technical difficulties. It's getting windy. So basically, I moved from the city, Toronto, to the cottage, and it was quite a journey to get to this point because there was a lot of different obstacles and challenges that came in the way just to get here. Like, I think we found out about the fact that we are going to be moving out of the Toronto apartment early May. And then for the next 2 months, there was a lot of unknown and uncertainty about where we were going to go, what was going to happen. And I described it like I was living in the void space where you don't really know. It's like there's not much that you know. Like, I didn't know what my life was going to look like past like a certain week because I didn't know if we were going to be finding a place to live in the city or if we were going to be moving to the cottage or like what was going to happen. But anyway, long story short, we're here now. It has been a little difficult, to be honest, to integrate the life transition. I think with any big moves or life transitions or anything, no matter how beautiful and nice they are and how expansive they feel, there is an integration period, and I'm very much in that. Today is a Monday, and today is pretty much the first day that I've really begun to focus again on all of my offerings and my business stuff. Like last week, I didn't even do a live stream because we were just in the process of unpacking, painting the rooms. Like we had to get the room set up so that we would feel at home there, or at least I would feel at home there. Like it's really important for me to feel like the space that I'm living in reflects my inner self. And I am someone who also really prioritizes aesthetic beauty. So it's just like trying to get it to a place where I feel really good. And look, there's a bunch of ducks that just came by. Can you see them? Kind of got scared. And this feather I found in the water. I don't know how to show you. It's like got this like really pretty, I think it's from a duck. It's like got that really pretty vibrant blue color, bluish green. I'm gonna keep that because it reminds me of like a peacock feather. And peacocks are very much in my field right now. Oh my goodness. Anyway, I guess the topic of today's live is very much about the integration period. Oh my goodness, what do I do? The wind is just like tipping it over. Yeah, so the integration period, it's like, here's the stages that I feel like I have gone through now multiple times when it comes to manifestation and realizing your visions and things like that. So the first stage is always identifying what the vision is, right? What is it that you are calling into your life? And once you have that image or that and you like kind of vision, it's all kind of hashed out. And sorry, I'm getting so distracted. There are so many, there's like birds and anyway, sorry. So the first one is always about like the first stage is always about like identifying what your vision is, like what even is it that you're calling in. And then there's a process of working towards it and really calling it into your life and doing like the mindset shifting work, the embodiment work. So it's not only that you have to be able to believe that you can have something that you want, but you also have to be able to align your daily actions with that version of yourself. So, for example, something that I'm working on now is I want to grow my YouTube following, right? But the first step for me was to understand that I was capable of having a large YouTube following, that I had it within me to attract a lot of people into my field and a lot of people into watching my offerings and things like that. I first had to get my inner self on board with that so that I would feel comfortable when it happened, like because if you don't actually feel like you are worthy of what you are calling in, if you get it while you're still not feeling worthy, it's going to be an extremely uncomfortable position that you're going to find yourself in. Because, for example, if I all of a sudden like woke up and I had 100,000 subscribers, right? But I didn't feel comfortable about that. I didn't feel like I was worth that many people. Like it would bring up all of my feelings of insecurity to the surface to be healed so that I could hold that container for 100,000 people. And bringing up that level, like it could be really, really intense if all of it comes up at once. So to make it a more easeful transition into receiving 100,000 subscriber community, it's more if I align myself with the flow and ease, it's like there's a process of me over some period of time getting up to that naturally myself, up to that level where I'm like, no, you know what, I'm good enough for 100,000 subscribers on YouTube. It's like getting myself inner self up to that first and then receiving the 100,000, because then once the 100,000 people are in my field, I can hold that because I feel comfortable about it and I know that like I was almost expecting it at that point, right? So the second stage is about changing, working on your mindset, working on your belief systems, leveling up your sense of inner worth so that you could hold everything that you receive. Because it's not only enough to just receive something, you also have to be able to, because change is so consistent, you have to be able to hold yourself in a state where you can hold these manifestations in your reality. Because an example of this is like when people win the lottery, right? It's possible to win large sums of money like that, but if you have not done the inner work and you are not comfortable with winning the lot or like with having that much money in your field, if you don't know how to manage it, if you don't have this like routines and skill sets to manage it, it's going to leave very quickly. And you see that happening a lot with lottery winners. So anyway, there's the mindset work, and then piggybacking off of that, the embodiment work. So for 100,000 subscribers, let's just use that example again. What would I see myself doing okay, sorry, I'm kind of out of I'm out of practice with video making because it's been a little bit. So thank you for being patient. So for 100,000 subscribers, if I place myself and I try to visualize the kind of person I am and the version of me that already has 100,000 subscribers, what do I see her doing? So, and there's no right or wrong answer to this. For me personally, the version of me that has 100,000 subscribers, she is posting regularly and she's posting consistently. She is showing up consistently on her channel, and people are able to depend on her in a way. You know, like for example, she maybe has maybe she posts every Saturday. So people that are following her, her community, can count on her to show up every Saturday for them, you know, and that is something that that version of me, the 100,000 subscriber version of me, is doing. And that is embodiment work. So to get to that point, I have to get into a routine in my life where I am able to post a video every Saturday so that I can align myself with that version of me now, you know, like, and that can take time too, right? I've always struggled to make consistent content and to be able to plan that I'm going to be doing something and to actually show up. I talked a lot about this in some of my older live streams. Like there's a fear of commitment and a resentment towards commitment that I'm currently working through. So that's one of the first things that I have to work on. I have to do the mindset work, and then I have to also match up my daily actions so that they match up with that version of me. And of course, if it doesn't, like, you don't have to be posting every Saturday to gain 100,000 subscribers. But when I ask myself, when I tap into that future version of me, because she already exists, right? The information I receive back is that is what she is doing. And so I can start to work on that now and accelerate the process into her and me merging into one. So there's that. And then, okay, so the second stage, I feel like, is the stage that you're in usually the longest, because it depends on where you started. So the larger the leap, so for example, for me to get to 100,000 subscribers, I'm at 4,600 right now. That's a huge leap, right? So it will take a bit longer because it will take longer for me to get my daily routines, my daily ways of being to that version of me, right? But if, for example, if I'm calling in a 5,000 subscriber version of me, that will happen quicker because it's closer and I'm already at 4,600. So getting an extra 400 subscribers, it's not that big of a jump. So it'll happen in shorter amounts of time. And I think the more that you get used to manifesting things for yourself, and like the more that you are able to see that it works, and the more faith that you have in the fact that whatever you visualize for yourself and whatever you're calling in for yourself will happen, the shorter the time periods get between it, right? Because right now, for me, I've never had such a big jump manifestation like 100K subscribers. But once I achieve that, then I will believe that stuff like that is possible for me. And then the next time I want to jump maybe to 200K or something like that, the time it takes to get me from 100K to 200K will be shorter. So anyway, that's the second stage. So the third stage is receiving the manifestation. So when you are completely aligned with the version of you that has the thing that you want. So when my actions, my thoughts, my ways of being, essentially. It doesn't have to be perfect, right? Because our minds don't know the full picture. Like we can think that I need to be posting every once a week or something, and maybe while I'm trying to get into that process, I learned that I don't actually need to be doing that. But the trick, or the thing that you really have to focus on, is just moving forward closer and closer. So for now, it's about posting consistently for me. But anyway, once you are like aligned at a level where you are, so in terms of energy and vibration, this is a very basic concept that a lot of manifestation teachers talk about. It's like once you are vibrating at the level of that version of you that already has it, once the way I am being, the ways that I'm thinking align with the version of me that has 100K subs, that is when the manifestation propels and projects into your external reality. That is when I'm doing all the things, when I have a consistent, for me at least, when I have a consistent posting schedule, when I'm able to handle that level of energy or that level of community, that is when it will come to me, right? So then it appears, right? Then it happens. And after that, I think people often underestimate. They think that once you achieve the manifestation, it's like all easy feelings from there, no more hard feelings, like you went through it all. But there are some difficult feelings that can come up once you receive the manifestation. And for me right now, I have been calling in a home to live closer to nature for so long, for months, right? And now it's here. But once I'm here, there's still an adjustment period because I actually have to get, even though I'm kind of aligned with that version of me that gets to live here, and that's why it's like my external reality reflects that, there's still inner work to be done to really match up with it. You know, there's a grieving process that humans have. That's what I've been really working through. There's a part of me that's grieving the city life. There's a part of me that is grieving the whatever I have lost, you know, as I've transitioned. And the same thing with once I get to 100K subscribers, I'm sure there's going to be a part of me that's going to grieve the version of me now. You know, it's like I have 4,600 subscribers. It's a smaller community. There's not as much responsibility placed on me. There's not as much energy coming in. It's easier to handle the energy that's coming in, even with comments and things like that. Like I get hate comments and things, but there's not that many, right? And I can deal with it. But once you're at a big community level, the things that can potentially trigger you, they they multiply, right? And so there's an adjustment period of being, it's like, okay, I received the manifestation that I was calling in, but now now I'm in this process of actually learning how to hold it and learning how to start feeling comfortable within it. And that's where I am right now with, it's like a beautiful, like my life looks absolutely perfect, and it really is. Everyone's life is perfect as it is, because anyway, that's a whole other topic. But tradition, like on the 3D level of the 3D world, of human people, like what people desire in their lives, like my life is beautiful and perfect, but there's still a sense of discomfort within me because I am still catching up that old self that lived in the city, that didn't have this access to all of this beauty, with the version of me that's actually experiencing it. So there's like discomfort, and it just takes a little bit of time, and it's okay. Like it's completely normal to feel the discomfort. I think I used to so another example is like when I received Luna, I was calling in Luna, I was like scripting her, like I was like, I want a dog. And then I got her, and then all of a sudden my responsibility and how I needed to show up in my days increased, right? I had to start taking her out every day. I started having to play with her, feeding her, like all of these extra things started popping up. And for the first couple of 2 weeks or so, we weren't sleeping that well because she wasn't sleeping through the night. So there was that period of like extreme discomfort upon receiving the manifestation. And I was like, oh no, is this normal? Is this supposed to happen? Why do I feel like this? I thought I would be just like eternally blissful, but I'm not. What's wrong? And there's nothing wrong. It's just that you are adjusting, and that's the integration period. So yeah, it's a very interesting, it's been very interesting for me to really experience the full flow of like all the stages of the manifestation process coming in, because, and like I've done it now like a handful of times, and it's interesting to note that there is duality in all stages. There are pros and cons to every stage. There is comfort and discomfort, excitement, fear in every stage, and it doesn't go away once you receive the manifestation. The fear doesn't go away, the discomfort doesn't go away, but there's all like I like the trick. That's why I think everyone always says like it doesn't matter what happens in your external reality, it's all inner work, because you have to be able to train yourself to see the positives in every present moment that you're in. So if you can train yourself through the manifestation portal, through the manifestation process of whatever you're calling in, if you can identify the positive experiences, the positive feelings, and focus most on those while you're in each stage. So if you're in the visualizing phase, when you're trying to identify what you want, if you can just focus all your attention on the good feeling emotions of that, instead of focusing on that the fact that you don't have it yet, instead focusing on, oh, but I could have it, right? It's like that's the practice. And then in stage 2, where you're doing the mindset work and the embodiment work and getting yourself up to the level where you're aligned in resonance with the version of you that already has the thing that you're calling in, instead of focusing on the fact that, oh, why am I not there yet? Why is this taking so long? What am I doing wrong? Am I doing something wrong? Like, is there anything more I can be doing? Instead of focusing on that, try focusing on the fact that every single day you are making more and more moves to get to where you want. Like, for example, for me, like I'm like celebrating the fact that I am being able to post and show up on video more often. I am being able to show up on Instagram more often. The ideas are flowing more. It's like not perfectly at the level that I want to be at, but it's happening. Like, I'm doing it, and being able to focus on that in stage 2 instead of the fact that, why am I not there yet? And then of course in stage 3, it's like you have the discomfort of I think stage 3 might be the easiest, but even then, I don't know. Oh my goodness, I'm so sorry. The amount of times that this has fallen over. In stage 3, being able to just enjoy what you have called in, being able to like luxuriate in what you have called in, like the fact that doing that instead of, or how do I explain it? Because it's like I feel like since I've been here, I've been so uncomfortable with the life transition that it's been hard for me to, like, the baseline for the first little bit has been discomfort. And so to be able to actually celebrate and find pleasure in what I've called in, it's been difficult. So because the baseline has been discomfort, as I'm integrating, taking time out to go for a swim, to do the things here that I couldn't do in the city, just acknowledge the fact that I have done, like, I've literally called in what I've wanted. That's like, you know what I mean? It's harder than it seems, though, to do that. Also, I just saw 2222. So yeah, I think that feels complete for today's live stream. I hope you like my bathing suit. I am so It was a journey as well to get to this point where I felt even comfortable wearing a two-piece bathing suit, because I grew up like having to be very modest in how I dressed, and of course that made me very uncomfortable with showing skin in general, even when no one was looking. So yeah, I'm very excited for where I am. I'm very grateful and very proud of myself because I did do this. I did it. Like, I literally did it. Of course, the universe helps and you co-create with the universe, but it does take a lot of personal, like, persistence. That's a good word. It takes persistence to be able to identify the vision that you want and then stay committed to bringing that in, because it can take time. So yeah. Thank you for being here. If you have been watching the replay, I would love if you commented on the Patreon page that you're here on the replay. It just makes me really, really happy. And yeah, see you next week.